Well, ho, ho, ho! I hope you guys had an amazing Christmas. Today, we're gonna talk about one of my favorite handguns. Santa brought it for me. I love that guy. Today, we're gonna talk about what could be the Glock killer, the CZ P10C. All right, welcome back to the cave and thanks for joining another episode of The Modern Caveman. I'm Sean. Like I said, we're gonna talk about the CZ P10C. Let's just dive right into this bad boy. This right here is a Canadian version, which is basically, has a threaded barrel. I'll just make YouTube happy. Completely empty, nothing to worry about there. This comes with a threaded barrel, so suppressor ready. If you buy a suppressor in Canada, you go to jail for life. But next to that, it's pretty cool. You could put a comp on there. They actually have comps available. I bought one. I'll do a little review on that later. The other upside about this particular model versus the regular P10C is it comes with suppressor ready, suppressor height sights, which are pretty sweet. So these sights are actually, starting from the front to the back here, these sights are pretty amazing. In comparison to my Glock 17 here, it's a night and day difference. You do not need to replace these sights. A lot of people replace them with Mariglo and so on and so forth. I find you don't need to. You can see the accuracy. I'm on target there quite a bit and I'm not the greatest shot. So in comparison to the Glock sights, you can chuck this out the window. That's a definite win for this bad boy. What else? What else makes this gun amazing? So this is not a direct comparison against the Glock 17. This was meant to be in competition with the Glock 19. I said 17, right? Yeah, 19. So the 19, as you know it, is more of a popular carry gun in the United States. Not so much in Canada because you go to jail. But that being said, a lot of the features are very similar, except what you're finding is most Glock 19 users customize everything on their Glock, which is pretty sweet. With the Glock 17, you don't really need to do that. What are some of the most popular customizations on Glocks? Front serrations. Well, this one comes with it. Don't have to do that. What's another one? An undercut trigger guard. What do you know? This one comes with that. Stippling. This stippling on this is 1,000,000 times better than my Glock. 1,000,000 times better. You don't have to do anything. If anything, actually, if there was a complaint, it's a little bit too aggressive. If you're pansy, it might hurt you, but next to that, it's amazing. What else is awesome about this? What is something that everybody whines about with Glock? Trigger. Of course they do. Everybody whines about triggers. Well, not with this bad boy. This is 4 to 4.5 pounds. I've shot well over 5,000 rounds with this particular handgun, and I've never once had a jam. Now, I will talk about a little bit of a negative, and it's something that you gotta get used to that I've never had happen on my Glock, but I'm gonna leave that till a little bit later. So let's break this down. So this boy right here is about 26 ounces, right? Maybe a little bit more with the add-on there for the additional barrel to make it legal in Canada. We have the sights that we mentioned. It's hammer cold forged, incredibly accurate. Everything that CZ makes I have a Shadow 2, that thing shoots a dime. You're able to rack any kind of lighting system that you want. Pretty much, this will fit most, not every, but most holster that a Glock 19 will. I personally running a T-Rex holster on mine. That's already fitted because I will get this milled out for optics because my eyes aren't the greatest, and I am gonna put a nice little light on there as well. Yeah, let's talk about the overall action. So, couple of the downsides, couple of the things I've heard issues with, and it is definitely different in comparison to my Glock per se, is the pressure, the amount of pressure. It's very tactile, It's very easy to get at, but it does require more pressure. It has gotten a lot easier over time, but the overall release on the mag is much more difficult than any of my Glocks, including the Glock 20. That being said, it's springy as heck. Like, look at this thing. It shoots right out. You don't have to worry about it ever dropping. That's empty. That's with nothing in it. And you're getting that kind of launch, right? A couple of the other things too, the hold open, and I know I've heard this many, many times before. This is not meant to drop the, and I agree, it's not meant to drop it, but it is a little bit tougher than my Glocks once again. You can buy add-on accessories if you want to be able to have easy access. Myself, I'm a big proponent of just racking the slide back instead of using the slide drop. The overall breakdown, I'm not going to go over that, but it's almost identical to a Glock, very similar. The only difference is it's running on rails, it's running on the slides. So it's a little bit of a system. Obviously, it's a polymer setup. Like I said, it is meant to compete with the Glock 19 and it does it very, very well. If I were able to carry, this would probably be my carry gun just because of all those functions that we talked about. I mean, I like the look, the ergonomics of it. I would say I have a close to like a large to extra large hand. And when I try a Glock 19, it barely fits. This, because I'm allowed to adjust, not allowed to, I'm able to adjust the rear on it. And I know you are with Glock 19s as well. I just find that the ergonomics and how it sits, and especially since there's a cutaway already, you can see as soon as I put the actual mag in, I get full coverage on it, which is nice. It's very nice fitting in my hand. So if you have a larger hand, the CZ P10C is probably something you should look into. Now, one thing I didn't mention, obviously this shoots 9mm, just like the 19. Let's go ahead and talk about what else makes this cool. The trigger. So the trigger on this is a 4.5 to 5 pound trigger, but the wall and how crisp this is one of the best striker fire triggers on it. I'm not the only one that says it, and I'm not a fanboy, I don't like lattes, so I'm just telling you right now, all that shit that floats to the top, that's not me. This is an amazing gun. And I know it's gotten super popular. I love the Glock 19s as well. I love the fact that you can customize it. That's probably the one thing the Glock beats on this particular handgun, is the fact that you can buy every accessory under the sun. Where this is better is you don't need to. And that's a massive difference when you're spending your money. And it's very affordable. I bought this at $569 or $549, something like that on special, on sale. So it was a really good price point. Let's talk about the trigger. Let's play with that. We're gonna ride that bad boy up. So it's got a little bit more of a flat, less curve to this trigger in comparison to the Glocks. But let's see if we can pull that back. So creep, bit of an initial creep there, but it's very smooth. It's not mushy. It's very smooth. It's fast to get to that wall. Fast, incredibly clean break. No mush in that last portion. Let's look at the reset. Wow. Did you see that? Bang, one more time. Wow, it's like I didn't even move. The reset is amazing on this. Now, negative. And this is something you need to kind of train for. I have 2 of these, so I've had it happen on both, so I'm assuming it's not just my firearms. But one thing I've noticed, this versus the Glock, because their safety sticks out further, if I'm for some reason running and I'm gonna shoot right away or whatever, I think I even have footage on this. If I'm wrapping my finger, so if I'm not shooting properly for whatever reason because I'm holstering it very fast, if I try to shoot this way, it locks. I don't know, you can kind of see it locks. So if you have any pressure going this way, the trigger will lock, the safety will engage. You have to make sure you fully engage downward pressure. And I know what you're saying, Sean, this is fundamental shooting, you're an idiot, you should learn how to shoot. Yeah, no, I get it. I've never had this happen to me once when I holster, I'm not moving and I just start shooting. But if I'm running, if I'm practicing, trying to be really cool and tactical, then it does happen. So it's never happened with a Glock. This safety, I guess, just extends out more. It's maybe a little bit more potent on how they do it. I'm not sure the exact mechanicals, but it is something to note. You need to practice with this firearm to make sure that you're always pulling directly down to release. Because if you have any sideward pressure, it's not going. Sweet. Another negative. No, it's not because it's pink. That's not why it's negative. It's negative because this thing cost double this. And the aftermarket accessories for the CZ are few and far between. So you're looking at, here in Canada, 45 to 60 bucks, depending on which make and model, for a CZ magazine, which only holds 10 rounds, which is ridiculous. But anyways, whereas you can get Glock multiple Glock variants and options and so on and so forth. Plus, a lot of other firearms use the Glock mags. So affordability, accessory affordability, and accessory options, the Glock wins hands down. But if you're looking to spend hard-earned money on something you really don't need to upgrade on anything, the only thing I'm gonna add is some accessories like a light, and I like my red dots, so I'm gonna add one of those bad boys, an RMR to it. Next to that, it needs nothing else. You don't need stippling, you don't need serrations, you don't need anything. It has everything. Even if you look down the side, depending on which side you are, and this is a completely ambidextrous gun, by the way. You got your all releases on both sides. They've even thought of it this way. Like, let's look at Glock 17. It's smooth as a baby's butt right there. Like, when you're coming there, look at that. There's zero tactile. That's why everybody is doing whatever they possibly can to add it and make it more tactile, right? I'm personally like to do checks. A lot of people don't. That's up to them. But this guy's just thought of everything. Look, I got a little abrasive spot right there just to put my thumb. It makes it so much easier to aim and shoot with, right? It's well thought out. CZ went back to the factory and said, we want to beat Glock. What does Glock miss? What can we add? What does everybody add to Glock, right? And they just put it on there. I mean, that's a no-brainer then, right? That's what I think. Like I said, I've never had one failure next to the fact that the trigger you need to train for. I've never had one smoke pipe, nothing. This has been amazing with the 5,000 rounds I've had. Extremely accurate. The trigger is one of the main reasons for that. I'm shooting great groups with that, and I'm not even a great shot. So since it's Boxing Day, there's probably tons of sales on these guys. I would look one up. If you're looking for something to compete with your Glocks, you love your Glocks, you like polymer, you like striker fire, this is something you need to check out. And since it's Boxing Day, I got even better news. You can subscribe to my channel today, and it's free. I won't charge you anything. It's awesome, right? So subscribe, put some comments, talk shit. Tell me how this sucks compared to a Glock 19, because I'd love to hear that. Tell me the differences, tell me why, and let's chat about it. Thank you everybody for coming to The Caveman. I hope you guys have an amazing new year. Thanks for supporting this new channel. Please like, share, do all those good things so we can come back with some more reviews in the new year.